Trusty Ape. Hashtag Trusty Apeco at Trusty Apeco. What's up? Happy Thursday. TGIT. Yes, it is Thursday night, 7:32 in the PM, here from my undisclosed location. Streaming now because I have no idea when I will again have access to Wi-Fi. Looks like I've got some lives on now. None of my friendlies though, so from what I can tell. What's up, everybody? Who's in the chat here? Hey, good to see you, Sammy. Christian Carpenter, very good to see you as well. Yeah. So I got a few videos in the watch later, and probably just be a short one. So unfortunately, I left my my charging device back at the meeting place. So I'll be there tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll still be there. Just keep our fingers crossed, right? Okay. No idea what I was doing with these. Just pull this up real quick. Yeah, so I'm doing the program again. I'll be back out of there on Monday, and then they're sending me to kind of an extension on the program, and so I'll still be in it. You know, it's gonna take some time, but yeah, I'll have a lot more free time coming up here soon. So looking forward to that. Alright, we'll just start at the top. I haven't been viewing this page in a while, so I've been using my alt profile on YouTube. For those of you who don't know, I got a couple alts, so I'm gonna get a couple of these off the list. Apparently I saved this one from Clint's Reptiles. Let's check it out. I saw a guy the other day with an iguana on a leash. Very unhappy iguana. I was like, man, but I was thinking maybe I could get a pet lizard. And this one's about the cave gecko, evidently.
Wow, dance. Wow, wow, dance. Wow, wow, dance. Wow, money in the bank.
Well, hi there. This is a leopard gecko, one of the most popular pet reptiles in the world. And this is a fat-tailed gecko, a less common alternative to the leopard gecko for people who want a leopard gecko, but that don't want to be just like everybody else. And there's a reason that these two geckos are popular. I mean, the leopard gecko is the highest scoring non-snake lizard that we have ever reviewed on this channel. Honestly, in retrospect, I might even give them an even higher score than I did. They're amazing. They're
Just buffer out real quick. I've never had a gecko myself, but I have handled leopard geckos, and I was fortunate enough to see a few over at the Reptile Expo year before last. Awesome little animals. Hey, good to see you, Missing Mod. I'm doing very well. Thanks for coming by. Oh, yeah, Clint's Reptiles is great. I heard about Clint from Bree, and then, yeah, I've been checking out his videos ever since. So lots of good stuff there. Very knowledgeable guy. And after this, I'll probably do audio check.
Easy to handle and friendly. They're extremely hardy and relatively simple to care for. They're relatively inexpensive to buy and maintain. In many ways, they're the perfect pet lizard. Let's just face it, eyelid geckos make great pets. And just for the record, all geckos have eyelids. But what makes this group unique is that their eyelids can move. They can blink. More accurately, they can open their eyes. The eyelids on most geckos are fused shut and are clear. And interestingly, while leopard geckos, fat-tailed geckos, and probably banded geckos are the most well-known, the majority of the eyelid geckos are in the genus Goniosaurus, the Asian cave geckos, which are at a glance every bit as amazing as their more well-known blinking cousins. I think a very strong case can be made that they're even more, dare I say it, beautiful than their cousins. Yet despite growing popularity, they are much less well known. So are these geckos as amazing to keep as their cousin? Or is there some hidden flaw that keeps them off the radar? And is the Asian cave gecko the best pet lizard for you? To help us answer these questions, we've invited our good friend Dr. Joey Muggleston from Great Basin Serpentarium, who keeps and breeds multiple species of cave geckos, here so that we can give cave geckos a score based on our 5 categories, which are handleability, care, hardiness, availability, and upfront costs. When it comes to handleability, we gave leopard geckos a score of 4 out of 5. And we also gave the fat-tailed gecko a score of 4 out of 5. They both had about the same pros and cons. In general, eyelid geckos.
Yeah, I think handleability is a must. Like when I had my my ball python, she was very comfortable hanging on around my neck. I could take her with me, out to various places. Not in the car though. That was a disaster trying to take her in the car without a tank. Don't do that.
Geckos are very good to handle, but not great. And really the main cons are that they're small enough that they can be injured fairly easily by rough or careless handling, say from a child. They can voluntarily drop their tails, though not as readily as geckos like crested geckos, and their tails, they don't grow back very well. And they aren't arboreal geckos, so they aren't exactly masters of holding on. They won't scratch you, but you will feel their claws. And while most don't tend to bite, for a lizard this small, they can pack a wallop. They can poop on you, but generally don't, and they're small enough that it isn't like being pooped on by a beardy or a corn snake. So there are a lot of little things that make them less than ideal to handle, but none of those cons are a very big deal. In general, they're pretty calm, non-aggressive, and very tolerant of handling. And all those things are just as true about cave geckos as they are about their better-known cousins. They also get a 4 out of 5. Though I can see going to a 5, the reality is that there are a lot of reptiles that are not only more fun, but also can be handled more easily and with less risk to the animal. We're not here to hand out 5s like candy, and 4 still seems appropriate all these years later. When it comes to care and hardiness, we're going to turn the time over to Dr. Joey Muggleston from Great Basin Serpentarium, who keeps 5 different species of these geckos, to discuss the...
Here I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for this. Copy. Yeah, if this doesn't work out, I might try opening a new tab. I'm just going to see how buffering goes. I am sharing Wi-Fi right now, so let's see how this goes.
Generalities and the differences between them.
So care for these guys is relatively simple. If you've kept a leopard gecko or seen how to keep a leopard gecko, it's basically that, just a little bit more human. One of the key points is making sure you don't confuse humid with soggy. They don't need to be in wet conditions. They need to be a bit more humid. And so enclosure size for most of these, average size, depending on which species you get, about 5 to 7 inches or so. And so caging size, you can do something like a 20-gallon terrarium. Of course, larger is better, and you can do a lot with these guys in terms of cool natural scape backgrounds and stuff like that. As for heat, they don't need to be quite as hot as some of the other geckos, and so we keep a warm spot of about about 84, 85 degrees. So about mid-80s on the warm side, and then they can be quite a bit cooler than that. They can actually handle quite a range of temperatures. When I first began keeping these years ago, I just kept them in Rubbermaid totes with damp substrate, and just in my reptile room that was mid-80s in the middle of the day. As for substrate, we have a mix. We have what we just refer to as our tropical mix. It's 2 parts peat moss, 2 parts topsoil, 1 part sand. You can use cocoa fiber or any other sort of substrate that's going to hold humidity well. All right, so inside the cage, you can have rocks and stuff for them to climb on. As was mentioned, they have those nice little claws that help them climb up on those rocks, grip onto those rocks, since they don't have the little sticky toe pads that you find in other geckos. Just make sure any...
So it's pretty easy to keep and pretty handleable. So that's a small enclosure. That's a plus.
Accessories in the cage are well supported, that they're stuck in place, the gecko can't move around and have it shift and fall on them. Because we're in Utah and it is so dry here, we go through a few times a week and we'll mist the enclosure. We make sure we keep a corner of the cage always with some damp moss or a humid hide box, so that even if the rest of the cage were to dry out a little bit, they still have a nice humid area to go and retreat into. We keep a water dish in there at all times, just a shallow water dish that if they or any of their insect prey crawl through, they can get back out of it. So we keep the little food dish full of either dubia roaches of appropriate size or small mealworms for them to feed as they desire, and we go through twice a week and we make sure they have some food in there. And then about twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, we'll go through and put some crickets in there for them as well. We dust it with calcium, vitamin D3. We don't provide UV lights for these guys. In our enclosures, they're heated by heat cable, and so we make sure they get that vitamin D through their diet. As for cage mates, we put cave geckos together only to make baby cave geckos. We keep them solitary year-round. We don't keep more than 1 female per cage. I've heard you can. We've not yet tried it. We've seen no reason to try it. We keep them individually, and then we put males in for breeding, and then we pull them out once they're done. On the babies, you have to be careful on humidity. You got to watch their shedding. If when they shed, they don't get it all off their toes, we'll put them in a little humid box and then help them with that so that they don't have any issues there. So just watch the toes when they're young. When they get older, we don't notice as much of an issue. It's just some of the babies tend to be a bit more sensitive to it. Again, that's related to humidity. If you live in a humid area, that may make absolutely no sense to you because you won't see the same thing. Their hardiness is like most other eublepharid geckos, and so if you've seen leopard geckos or kept leopard geckos, it's about the same. Again, as long as you make some minor modifications, a little bit less heat, a little bit more humidity, they're just as hardy as the other eyelid geckos. Or the more popular eyelid geckos, I should say. There are a few of them that are more common, and so the most common are baby cave geckos.
Thank you very much.
It's time.
And that's an ad. And it's probably going to be buffering anyway, so may come back, may finish it later.
With
Fidelity
What did it do?
ETFs, the potential
Started going again?
is in the mix. Active pursues opportunities.
Okay.
Joey. And with that in mind, we're gonna give the cave.
Okay. Before we get this ready, because I was just in the middle of saying something. Potentially, possibly some very good news coming up. Well, let's just say I am a happy camper. One second. And yeah, so aside from being clean and sober and all that good stuff, because that's a plus. I also have some other really exciting stuff going on right now. I'm not gonna get too far ahead of myself, but Just overall having a really positive week, and so maybe some announcements to come as we go. But again, kind of I don't want to jump the gun here, but other announcement, if you haven't heard, the Trusty Apes, the band, my band, will be playing in Sacramento, California, Orangeville, California, rather, in the Sacramento area, at the Boardwalk on September 8th. It's a birthday bash. There's going to be a bunch of bands there, and it's our first show playing out in a while, so we're looking forward to that, and maybe more announcements coming soon.
Cave Gecko, a score of 5 out of 5 for care and 5 out of 5 for hardiness. So I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. Somehow, reviews of pets have become the least popular videos on our channel. And reviews of pet reptiles have become the least popular pet reviews that we do on this channel. And yet, there are so many rad reptiles out there, some are even very common, that I haven't been able to share with you guys. And I will tell you,
it's just amazing because reptiles, well, they may be pricey, depending on what you're getting, but generally they're just very low maintenance. They're easy to keep, in my experience. I'm sure there are exceptions to that, but yeah, snakes and reptiles, I think it's just because people don't perceive them as being like cute and cuddly, I guess. And that's the type of pet that a lot of people prefer. Me, I think I prefer something like this at this point in my life. So yeah, I'm very interested in these. So if you're interested, check out Clint's Reptiles for more reviews like these.
from an economics standpoint, it doesn't make sense for us to make these videos anymore. But I believe in this library that we're building, and I want to see it continue to grow. And we can only continue to do this, really, thanks to the support of our patrons on Patreon. So if this is the kind of thing you want to see us continue to do in the future, please consider hopping over there and supporting us on some level. It really does make a big difference and allows us to make videos that we know might not be that popular, but that need to be made. When it comes to availability, this is where things go down for cave gecko versus a leopard gecko. But if you ask me, that's really part of their charm. If you don't care about the fact that they're everywhere, why not just get a leopard gecko? But truth be told, if you don't care which species you get, it isn't really that difficult to find a cave gecko, at least not yet. Though they will probably get a little bit harder to find in the near future, for the reasons that Joey already explained. While they aren't that common in pet shops, I certainly have seen them in pet shops. The same goes for expos. You won't see tables full of them like leopard geckos, but they're out there. And if you're willing to get one online straight from a breeder, you shouldn't have much trouble. If you want your pick of at least 5 different species, Great Basin Serpentarium is a great option. And they're all captive bred. They aren't everywhere, but they're far from impossible to find. And they get a 3 out of 5 for availability, though again, that may go down in the near future. When it comes to upfront costs, cave geckos are shockingly not all that expensive, but again, that might go up in the near future. It's probably...
So this is going to be a major concern for me because you need the enclosure, a light, heating elements and stuff like that. So the cost of the lizard itself is going to be a big factor here. So let's see what he says. Ah, Shamim. Good to see you, Tog. Yeah, it took me a minute. I was like, I'm subscribed to this channel, and then I figured out who you were.
Probably possible to get a leopard gecko for less than a cave gecko, but they're really not all that expensive yet. A bit more if you have to pay for shipping. It's totally possible to get a cave gecko right now for around $100, but expect that to at least double here shortly. You may pay more than that for the enclosure, most likely you will, but it's not going to break the bank either. Get an enclosure, substrate, water bowl, calcium, vitamin supplements, hides, heat source, and a thermostat, and you'll be pretty much good to go. Those studies have shown measurable benefits to leopard geckos from small amounts of UVB, so that would also probably be a good addition. It all adds up, but really, it doesn't get too much better than this. And so, especially since we went down a little bit on handleability, I'm going to stay at 5 out of 5 when it comes to upfront costs. Now, if you're looking for a really...
Oh, see, but he didn't give me a figure, so let me see. Just out of curiosity here. Cave gecko for sale. Wow. So this is a wide range, $100 to $450. Chinese cave geckos, $179 to $399. But here's one for $79.99 with a $35 delivery charge. These are Chinese. I guess, are they all Chinese? This one, so at tortoiseworld.com, we've got male Chinese cave geckos for $35, females for $10, a male and a female together for $50, which doesn't really make sense because you could get them for $45 individually, but this says $50. And down here it says $99.95 to $299.95. So a little confusing. The price is varying here. I think it depends on like maturity. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if you could get one for, you know, say you're just getting the single female for $10, that's super cheap. Let's just get a little deeper and find out what's up with that. Oh no. Okay, so when I actually clicked the link, no. Oh, okay. So it's $99.95 right off the bat. So it's $100, and then if you want it sexed, you have to pay the fee. Is the way it goes here. So it's $99.95 if you have no preference to the sex here. If you want them to sex it and you want a set, it goes up to $50. Okay. That's interesting. I'm reading from Tortoise World here. Goniosaurus, also known as cave geckos, are a small terrestrial gecko native to China, Japan, and Vietnam. Their bright colors, which I think makes them look like psychedelic leopard geckos. When considering any Chinese cave gecko for sale, be sure to only purchase captive-bred baby Chinese cave geckos for sale from an experienced Chinese cave gecko breeder. All of our reptiles are for sale, including our Chinese cave geckos for sale, are captive-bred and not wild-caught. We have a biologist on site and offer a live arrival and full 7-day health guarantee on all of our animals. Our guarantee extends to 30 days for all customers who purchase full habitat kits. All of our orders ship via FedEx overnight in heated or cooled insulated containers when needed, and leave our facility at 6:45 p.m. and are on your doorstep the following morning before noon. One shipping charge of $39.95 covers up to 5 reptiles for sale. So that's pretty cool. So let's see how that compares to leopard geckos. Wow, albino inferno male leopard gecko. Those look cool. $279. So, wow. Black Knight leopard geckos, $1,800. That's crazy. Carrot tail leopard geckos, $140. So these Chinese cave geckos are actually some of the cheaper ones on this list. Let's see, can I price it low to high? Yeah, there we go. So let's see where we're starting at. Oh yeah, right there. So the Chinese cave gecko, and the next is the raptor leopard gecko, is going to be it's going to be about the same price, and then they go up from there. So starting at about $100, just for the animal, and then of course you have to get all the stuff that goes with it. So fairly cheap, like from what I've seen around. Never had much luck keeping any kind of lizard alive for very long, says Christian Carpenter. My son has had at least a dozen bearded dragons, and they only last a month or so. Bearded dragons, don't they get relatively large, though? I think the larger they are, the more difficult it gets. Interesting. I had an albino Burmese python for almost 15 years and sold it to the Memphis Zoo? Wow. That was probably a big snake, I imagine. My ball python, when we got to about 3 feet, and she was like fully mature. That was as big as she was gonna get, I think. Maybe a little bit bigger. I had to leave her with a friend who was not experienced with snakes, and she died over there. Unfortunately, that was many years ago. My hypothesis was that he got her the wrong size feeder, but can't be really certain about that because I wasn't there at the time. So that was disappointing. But I got her for free. She was given to me by another guy who couldn't keep her anymore, and then I ended up having to leave her with my friend because we had a new baby at the time, my son, and his mother was worried about having the snake in the house with a newborn, which is reasonable, I suppose.
Really good way to house your cave gecko, or really any small type of reptile or amphibian, or especially things like tarantulas and other arthropods. Tarantula Cribs has some amazing products for you. In the past, I would have told you they make the nicest spider enclosures I've ever seen, and they still do. But they've recently started branching out into supplies for reptiles and amphibians. They're building larger enclosures. They just keep getting better and better. I love these front entry doors that they've been doing on a lot of their enclosures lately. They've got screen lids, and now the screen lids are warp resistant and they're scratch resistant. Same thing goes for the doors. They've got replaceable backgrounds. You just magnet them onto the back, and so you can switch them out anytime you like. These enclosures are spectacular.
Yeah, those are really, really nice. She's around 14 feet when I sold her. That's huge. That's amazing. Hey, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Good to see you. Yeah, I've handled some larger snakes in the past as well. They weren't mine, but my mom had a friend who had many reptiles and snakes at one point, and exotics. And so I got the opportunity to handle some pretty amazing creatures as well, but that was many years ago.
And it would be hard to imagine a better enclosure for a cave gecko than these. And so I'm grateful that Tarantula Cribs is the sponsor of today's video. And if you think that Tarantula Cribs are the types of enclosures that you're going to want for your animal, I've got even more great news for you today.
He's probably getting a discount, but let's see how much they go for on the regular. I just want to get an idea here. Oh, that's not bad. So you can get smaller ones for as low as like 30 bucks. Looks like a pretty nice one. A 4-grid cage for $44. Yeah, these are pretty reasonably priced. And Clint's got a discount code, so that's cool. Oh, they have their own YouTube page as well. Look at their stuff there. And let's just start with the terrestrial enclosures here. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel where we showcase the beauty of tarantula care through our specialty acrylic enclosures. Join us as we provide specific tips to ensure your 8-legged friends thrive. I never really thought about keeping large spiders. So there's a sling crib, that's about $15.99. And moving up, there's a, wow, that's a pretty large pyramid crib. $74.99. That's very large, much larger than what we would need. The pink coffin crib, that looks cool. 70 bucks. Wow. Okay. Oh, they have various colored coffin cribs here. All running about $70. And the large is at $124.99, and oh, not huge. But for, you know, a gecko, you don't need huge, so. Okay, cool. Alright, go back here. I'm expecting a phone call soon, so I'll probably wrap this before too long. But once again, September 8th at the Boardwalk in Orangeville, California. We will be playing. Other good news to come. Hopefully I will be getting my my Wi-Fi hotspot here soon, so I'll be able to stream from home once again. Right now I'm just I've been very busy these last couple weeks, and taking on some new obligations throughout the week, so it's been hard to find time to stream. And right now I just happen to have access to Wi-Fi this evening, but again, I don't have a charger for my devices, so it kind of makes it a little difficult to stream comfortably. And I have a very solid connection on this end. StreamYard's kind of up and down and in and out. Okay, we're gonna check this out. I just found this video from the Autistic page, and we'll link this one as well. Probably won't get through the whole thing. It's 18 minutes long, but I will share the link in the description box for anybody who wants to check it out. And we're buffering again. Give it a second. Oh, that's right. I think I still have to speed up. Oh, if I turn that down. Okay, now we'll do this. Sorry about that. Okay, it's unusual. It's like just a stream intro playing continuously for 18 minutes. So, okay. Not sure what with that. Okay. Let's go to their YouTube channel if we can. Is it gonna let me do it? Is it gonna let me do it? Let's try something else. So I'm gonna remove that one much later this time. No, that's not what you do. Why won't you listen to me? Gonna do the same thing again. Never mind. Too many issues. Hey, sure, good to see you. Doing great. Doing very, very well. Thank you. Glad to see everybody. Yeah, I'm just killing time right now. Yeah, basically we were going into, it's fucking kind of warm in here. There's been a lot of talk, recently in my groups about spirituality and what it means to various people. I had a conversation with my my AA sponsor yesterday about this, because I don't tend to bring it too much in the groups, but with my sponsor knows that I'm an atheist, and so we were talking about just kind of getting past the God question and what spirituality is and stuff. So my assignment for step 2 is acknowledging a higher power, in this case, whether it be nature, the universe, the cosmos, as I know Mike from Answers in Atheism has said on a number of occasions, that you can be a spiritual atheist. And we've actually had private conversations about this as well. And so that is my assignment for this week, while doing the Big Book Step 2, which is we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And so basically you just have to like acknowledge that you're not God or whatever, which is fine. You know, I'm fairly certain I'm not God, although I'm not really sure. I could be, you know. Would God know that he was God? What do you think? I don't know. So yeah, that's my present assignment. I'll be graduating from my daydreaming program on Monday. Be your own higher power. You have that within you. Yeah, I don't think they allow that. I mean, at least I can't say that out loud. But they even said that another person could be your higher power, which I think is ridiculous. Because in the next breath they will say that you have to do sobriety and recovery for yourself and not for outside entities, right? Or otherwise it doesn't work. So it's kind of contradictory there in so I don't know. But whatever, I'm just taking the suggestions and not arguing or debating with people at this point. I did have some debate last week. Anyway, I was just politely asked not to do that, which is fine, because all I really have to do is survive through Monday, and then I'm moving on. So it's whatever works for you, you know. I had sparked up a bit of controversy in my group, and so there was an announcement today which I thought was going to be related to that, but in fact was not at all related to that. So, lucky me, because I already had to talk to 3 different people about this last week. I was like, if they bring it up again, I'm just gonna, you know, I don't know, go berserk. But it didn't come up again, so I was like, okay, because I stopped having the debate and just kind of let shit go, and so apparently they did the same. Wow, interesting text message. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about how I respond to that. So somebody is asking me if they can come to my graduation, but this goes into the topic of conversation that came up earlier, because we are in a medical treatment center. There was a certain practice going on there which they feared might somehow result in a HIPAA violation. And so this text message I just got, this person from outside of the group wants to know if they can attend my group graduation. I'm fairly certain that would also be a HIPAA violation, since he's not part of the group and not a member with us. But, you know, never hurts to ask, right? Never hurts to ask. Okay. So that's the deal with that. Stay there. Not you. Well, yeah, you too. Okay, what do I have here? This is all kind of personal writing. Yeah, I don't think I have anything here that I haven't read to you yet. Yep. No. I watched a film. It's been a couple weeks ago now, which I highly recommend to anybody who hasn't seen it. It's by Jonah Hill. It's actually a documentary. It's called Stutz. Great documentary. They had it on Netflix or whatever at the place I was staying. And yeah, I just highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't seen it. It's about therapy essentially, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a good therapist for myself, because that was part of my exit plan when I left rehab, was to go into individual therapy, and that never happened. And now I'm going to be essentially battling with my insurance provider to get me those services. But I think I have a good shot here. I just have to advocate for myself, and I've been told that by a number of people now. I just really have to kind of be pushy about getting those services, because they ought to be covered under my insurance, and it's acknowledged by everybody that it would be helpful, it would be beneficial to me, and paying for that shit out of pocket is just way too much for me, especially at this point. Got a lot accomplished yesterday, so I'm proud about that. Basically, by the end of the month, I need to somehow work a deal with the DMV and the state of California or whatever, to keep my vehicle registered. Otherwise, I'm going to be having some serious issues with that. So they want quite a bit of money. Oh, you saw the documentary, Sure? Great. Yes, it's a really good one. It's a tearjerker, too. I kept tearing up during it. Of course, I was, still detoxing and shit, but whatever. That's fine. Alright, well, I got my battery down to, where are we at? It looks like about half. Yeah. So I'm going to conserve battery power. Hopefully I'll pick up my my charger tomorrow. Cross your fingers, hope it's still there. And then we'll just be waiting for a hotspot. So, may do a stream on the phone. I had thought I had some other stuff saved into the watch later. I certainly have been out of the loop for the last couple weeks, and especially the last few days. Once again, I have not been logged into this account, so I'm using my alt account, so I'm not seeing really anything going on over here right now, so I'll probably switch that up tonight and go check and see if there's anything in the comments or anything that I've missed over the past few days. Other than that, I will probably be inviting a few select people for the next stream. Obviously, I dropped a link for this one, but that was just kind of spur of the moment. But I definitely want to plan a topic and do a panel discussion again soon, rather than an open room. Don't know when I'm going to have time for another long open room, but almost certainly once I get a hotspot, I will plan for that. So be looking out. More streams are going to be coming up soon. As I said, after Monday, I'm going to have a lot of free time on my hands. I'm going to have to fill up. So that's tentatively what's going on. So probably like Tuesdays and Thursdays will be my days right now. So alright, I'm going to say goodnight and good luck to y'all. Be well, be kind, and stay trusty. And much love to everybody. And we'll see you when we see you. And thank you to everybody who's come by tonight. Sher Wilkes, Daniel Barry, the Christian Carpenter, Missing Mod, Shamem, and Sammy, of course. And anybody who watches later on, y'all are cool too. Alright, bye.